If we go in there, we could probably make our money right there at the casino.
200 on the red.
Put 200 on the red and double our money.
Just double the money and
get back on the road. That's it.
Would we be disciplined though?
No.
Would we? Would we be disciplined?
We'd want to triple it.
If we did. Then we'd let it ride.
Yeah. Then we let it ride. I just go put it in there. Go on there.
Hey, I'm a pretty good craps.
Black 7.
I don't know if they have crap tables in these Indian casinos.
I've never told you this story.
They know how to deal craps.
I went down to Vegas once. I look in this room. These guys are playing. I go like, gosh, who's paying for that?
In a room?
Yeah, they got room. No, it's a room, regular room, a ballroom. You know, it's a midnight show. No one's there. They're playing
TV?
everything.
Was it on TV?
No, I'm in Vegas.
It wasn't that Texas Hold'em television program.
No, that's another story. This is a different story. This is a story about going down to Vegas, sitting at the crap table.
Oh, you play craps too?
Actually, no. It was, dude. This was the 21 table.
You were watching.
I was 21. Yeah, I can play 21. I hope that's the thing going in, not you. This sucks. Yeah, this is.
We're pulling a heavy piece of equipment.
I know it. I'm telling you, this people don't realize. People don't realize how much fuel costs now, and how double. No, they don't.
They don't. I mean, the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Thanks to Obama.
Yeah.
Thanks to that. Well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
They say it's a global market now for fuel. So even if we upped our production. But then why does Venezuela? I guess it's because of socialism. But why does Chevy's people only pay 50 cents a gallon and we're paying $4.25? What is that?
Because they produce their own fuel. I mean, you know,
But I mean, we don't want our oil industry to be taken over by the government, do we, or do we?
No, heck no.
That's what Hugo did.
That's a subsidy he's doing. He's just subsidizing. He's saying, okay, you know what? I can get so much money from those Americans and Canadians and Chinese people and Japanese and all of them.
Money from by selling the fuel to us?
What do you mean? Him? City.
When you
know
they get so much money. You were talking about Hugo Chavez.
Yeah. Yeah. Citigo. You know,
not Argentina.
Citigo.
What?
He's Venezuela. Citigo.
He's Venezuela, right?
Yeah, Venezuela.
But I mean, why are his citizens paying 50 cents a gallon? And we're paying $4.25.
Because how much does it cost to get out of the ground?
To refine a gallon of fuel?
If you own it and it doesn't cost you anything in the resource. Okay, let's say Alaska's oil's up there. How much does it cost to get out of the ground? Well, if you got to pay for a pipeline, there's that cost. You got to
expensive up on the North Slope. It's
Larry.
Yeah.
They got back at 11. They were making money at $9 a barrel.
That was a long time.
Right, but our barrel was $9. Now it's 10 times that. 90. It's been up to 15 times that, right?
Yeah.
And we love it, don't we? Because sustainable.
I guess we make a little more money.
Whoa.
But then again, we pay at the pump too.
Right, we have to pay more at the pump. All right? Then all of a sudden it drops down. You know, most of the time, everything should stay between 80 and 120. Because
I guess my question is, I'm trying to get the answer out of you. Why does Venezuela citizenry pay 50 cents a gallon and we're paying $4.25? Why?
Well,
if it's a global market,
because they're not selling all their fuel.
Well, what would Alaska have to do to see to it that we pay $1.50 a gallon? We got a lot of oil.
Yeah.
Like, what do? Do we get in the business? Do we go someplace on state land, poke a hole in the ground, get the oil out, put it down the pipe, and sell it to ourselves at $1.50 a gallon?
Could.
Refine it.
Could.
What are we talking about here, Larry?
We'd have to calculate it all out. But let's say it's right below us right now, and we punch a hole in the ground, right?
Well, who who's going to oil? Are we going to hire out the oil companies to drill the holes and put in the infrastructure?
Well, you got to hire somebody with expertise.
Right. Are they going to be government employees, or are we going to hire government contractors?
It doesn't matter. It depends on what you're paying them. It doesn't matter if you're paying government employees. It doesn't matter if you're paying private people.
I think it does.
Why?
I think it'll cost us a shitload more money if we try to get the government to do it, as opposed to hire the private sector under contract to do it.
If I'm the expert, if I have the expertise, what if I say I'll do it for free?
Well, that's stupid. Always gonna do that.
Well, what if I don't need the money?
Always gonna do that.
You know what? You know, Chairman Mao, to whom much is given, much is required. Of course, they put that on Spock. You know, but that Catholic Church says that too. I've heard him in there. That much is given, much is required. That's just the way it is. Chairman Mao.
Back to what? What? You are one scattered. What would it take for Alaskans? What would it take for Alaskans to pay $1.50 a gallon for gasoline?
Well,
or diesel. What would it take? What kind of change would have to come about? Can you paint that picture, Larry?
Okay. All right. Let's say that you got your barrel of fuel, which is not a 55-gallon barrel, but I think a 40-gallon barrel of
fuel. Those kind of details.
Well, you got to calculate this out. That's the problem with everybody. No one wants these details. You ask, what's it going to take? Okay, let's say...
What's it going to take? A barrel's a barrel's a barrel. Come on.
Okay, 40 gallons.
Why are all those people going to the right?
But only out of...
Hey. Why are all those people going to the right?
Because that's where the road goes.
What's straight ahead?
That's, I don't know. Whatever's straight ahead, I suppose. Maybe it's the road and they went around these trees. Probably. You know, who knows? Okay. It could be a great big old monster up here. Drinking Cookie Monster.
Talk to me.
Okay. So you got your 40 barrels a gallon of oil. Now you got to process it, right?
40-gallon barrel.
Okay. So let's say you're out there and you just decide to do some processing.
So who's gonna discover the oil?
Oh.
Who's gonna pay the bill to discover the oil?
Oh, that's where the capitalism comes in. Unless you want to go make slaves out of everybody. Watch out, Larry. We got a hill. That's why. Whoa, we got a big one, don't we? This is a great hill. And this is the way it is for the rest of the trip, Larry. I'm telling you. These hills are huge. Hopefully, we just do not want to be on one of these hills with a bunch of snow.
With this thing pushing us down.
Exactly, because it will snap our little heads off in a moment's notice. We won't even have time to think, oh, dang it, I'm going to die. Because it will be faster than that. Faster, much faster. Yep, I'm not kidding.
Am I going to go to heaven?
No, we won't even have time to think that. It's like, you're there or you're not. And if you're not, it's like you'll never know it. Because you may just end up... But here's another weird thing about beliefs. Okay, so let's say 30%...
Where do we start? Do we pay a company to explore on state land, and then once they find the oil, right? Let's say they find the oil, and they find enough oil to where, you know, we don't have that many people up here. So you know, they wouldn't have to find a lot of oil necessarily, but they'd have to find it in an area where it would be reasonable to get it out of the ground.
You mean like ANWR?
And then get it to a refinery.
You mean like ANWR? Okay. You mean like 100 miles from the pipeline that already exists?
Yeah.
With all 50 billion barrels of oil? And they won't let you go drill over there?
They claim that it's only 1/3 full, so I guess there's a little bit of room in there for our oil.
Yeah.
Being that it's only 1/3 full.
Yeah.
But that is a total bullshit line too, because oil doesn't go uphill at 1/3 full.
No.
That's not how it works.
Slows down, it gets thicker.
It's the speed of the oil.
Yep, exactly.
Not the amount in the pipe.
Exactly.
But they lie to us.
Yeah, it's like they do that pictogram where it's like a third fill. But yeah, right.
Abrasives in the oil. They're purposely slowing down the oil so it doesn't
instead of
wear
going
out
20,
the pipe so fast.
exactly.
So it doesn't wear out the pipe so fast, and that way they don't have to spend all that money on those lubricants.
Yeah, that too.
The whole thing's a con.
Well, they still have all that oil up there. Let's say they just went and poked a hole in the bottom in there, and they found 50 billion barrels, which are supposed to be up there, but no one's talking about because they don't want anybody to know about
Below
it. Because
state land. Okay, so now they found it, and we insist that they put it in our pipe. Does the state of Alaska build a new refinery owned by the state of Alaska?
Hired out.
Makes sense?
No,
why can't we count that infrastructure just like a road or a railroad? Why can't we look upon a state-owned refinery like the state-owned dairy, like the state-owned railroad, like the state-owned ferry system? I mean, people aren't whining about the socialism of that aspect.
I guess not. Yeah.
So then, why can't the state own a refinery?
You know, I don't know.
Infrastructure, Larry.
I don't know.
And if we own the refinery, why couldn't we refine our own oil, transport our own oil, and finished product?
Because the Koch brothers, who own the other refinery, sit there and say, you know what? We're not going to give any politicians money, and we're going to slander all the ones that are against us if you're not for us. So that's a lot of our system right there. Our politicians are paid off. You know, they don't want to be, but to stay in power, they're going to be getting so much retirement. They're going to be getting just like everybody else, so that it happens that way. But anyhow, that's not the issue. The issue is, if I was to just go punch a hole in the ground and start getting oil like a gusher that we used to see in the John Wayne movies, only 30% or 40% of that's going to be made into fuel. Or gasoline, hydrocarbons.
Hey, those John Wayne movies, that's where the people that own the land own the subsurface mineral rights.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the way it is in Alaska.
Nope. We, the common people.
We're owners.
We're the owner. We own.
Hickel saw to it.
Yeah. Well, no. That's the people when we became a state. We wrote in our Constitution that we got all because the mineral rights, and that was because they wanted to have Alaska be able to take care of itself. Right. Well, what happens, we get Jimmy freaking Carter up there, and he goes and takes away the land from the Alaskans so that they can do that. So what happens? Now the federal government has to support us all up there, just like everybody else. Not us all, but you know, it's not the native community, but the natives hospital, that wasn't built by the natives, that was built by the U.S. government. Okay, so it's again, who's got the biggest lobby to go get the money from Washington, D.C.? And it's not really money anymore.
My money.
No, it's not. It's
Chinese money.
No, it's not even that. It's printed money that's out there.
But the Chinese loaned us printed.
They only loaned us 1/16 of it, and that's just to kick it. And because, ironically, 1/16 is pretty much when you go and loan the bank. The Federal Reserve says to Mr. Banker, you go loan $1 out there, and for every dollar
16 cents
you get in your deposit, you can loan every dollar in your deposit. You can loan out 16 times. Yeah.
Without having that security to back it up.
You only need to have one time. Now, it may be 9. That's how they contract the economy. We need to contract the economy. They go and say, okay, we can't let you loan out that 16 times your deposit. We're going to let you loan out 9 times.
What kind of government would allow that shit? That's not how you could run your household. That's not how you could run your businesses.
I know.
You can't.
I know.
Well, then why does the government allow banks?
Because they can print it. They sit there and they say there's an obligation. We're going to go and based on the obligations. It's all, you know, it's probably a good 2 years of economic theory in classes to understand what's going on. If you had sat down with somebody that was really knowledgeable, you could sit there and say
it defies common sense that they would make the banks be more secure and have
let me put it to you this way.
In place.
Let me put it to you this way. Okay, if I had $1 million of perfect, non-detectable counterfeit money
Well, the Russians and the North Koreans have shitloads of that.
Yeah.
Those two countries have billions and billions of counterfeit American dollars, and they're using them every day.
Okay. So what does that do? All that does is says, okay, if you're not producing, there's going to be a point where you just have the money and everybody sits home and doesn't produce anything, so the prices go up. But if everybody goes out there and produces because they get the money, they don't even notice it. You can have whatever amount. That's what basically what the Federal Reserve does.
You say produce, you're referring to spending.
I'm talking about making food. I'm talking about like we're doing. We are bringing something up which is part of production.
We are producing more than we consume.
Because we have a firewood machine. So we basically make this firewood work, and we go out there and say, we got firewood.
We can make more money than it costs us to make the money.
Right, because we can go out to get these natural resources. The oil companies can do the same thing. The fishing industry can do the same thing. The dairy and cows, everybody can do the same thing. If you got, for instance, hay on the ground, you know, if it rains and it makes hay, you just got to go out there and get the hay and do some processing. But other people have to pay for that hay. If you're going to buy it, other people say, okay, you got that hay, but guess what? I got a bunch of firewood. I'm going to trade you the firewood for that hay. Now I got a bunch of hay. Okay, well, I don't have any cows. Well, somebody says, you know what? I'll give you some meat from my dead cows if you give me some hay. Oh, okay. Well, I got to keep my cows warm. Okay, well, I'll do some firewood, trade firewood for you for some more cows. So it's all the interaction of society that makes these things happen for us. Now, when somebody sits home and doesn't do anything, that's a drag. However, there is so much produced, whereas if we were in the early 1900s, 60-70% of us were all farmers because we had to farm and we had to go out there and we had to support ourselves by farming. Now only 5% of us are farmers, if even that. But we want to have cars to go around, so somebody's got to produce the steel. But still in that society, if one person was able to not work, they could still get by not working. Because they could, if they got freeload or whatever you want to do it. You know, walk over to this guy and say, you know what? You got more firewood than you really need. Or like that hitchhiker we saw. That hitchhiker could hop in our car and ride with us and not pay anything. And how much more would it cost us for that hitchhiker? Let's say they weigh 200 pounds. We do go back to physics. 200 pounds, force equals mass times acceleration. So we just figured out the force. How much does it take?
2 cents a mile.
2 cents a mile for a 200-pound person? In this truck, are you kidding me? 200 pounds on this thing, we couldn't even measure. We'd probably be doing like a teaspoon every 50 miles. You know, it wouldn't hurt us to do anything, but it wouldn't hurt us at all to do it. And that's how people get by, because there's so much extra capacity in the system.
Isn't extra when you consider how much debt we have. It's not extra.
Sure it is.
Shit.
Sure it is, because your capacity is what's right now. For instance, if you had a whole bunch of trees cut down, there's a point where you don't have to cut down any more trees because all the houses are built.
Well, no, they got it. As long as your population increases.
Well, that's something right there. You have a growth in population, and you can if you have a growth in population, yeah, you have to sustain that in food.
Burn down, and some houses get old.
Right, yeah.
Need to be
you got obsolescence, you got functional obsolescence, you got economical obsolescence, because, for instance, if we were economical obsolescence would be somebody dragging a cart with a horse versus this kind of driving down the road in a car. Well, if there's oil to be had, then you go that way and you drive down in a car as opposed to a horse. I mean, all these little factors are in there. But the politicians have figured out that, you know what, or someone, economists have figured out, you know what, we can go and just basically pay these people not to do something, and they're going to do fine. And
well, that's what they did for a long time in the agriculture industry in this country. They paid farmers not to grow a crop.
Right, because we got more than we need. And whoa, come on.
Hang in there.
Larry. Okay. What's going on here?
We're going good.
I know, I just hate going off the side of the road.
Me too.
Anyhow.
Bobtail trucks, what's that?
And this is going to get not better. We're going to get down to single roads, Larry. I'm telling you, 40, 45 may be the better way to go, because if we were going off these things, people coming back fast anyhow. I'm even getting to the point where I don't even care anymore. Think about it, because, the people that are in, like we're talking about, you writing to your brother, it's just kind of like, what the heck's he going to do? What does it matter anymore that we tell him anything? It's not like they're even thinking.
It just helps our psyche a little bit.
Yeah, right. Doesn't help mine. It's getting
go on a rant.
Yeah.
Yes, you go on rants.
Yeah, I'm rant right now.
You derive a certain amount of enjoyment from a rant.
Yeah, I suppose. But I'm getting less and less enjoyment out of my rants.
We're going on a rant now.
Yeah, I know. And no one's listening. The only people who listen to this is after we're gone, they'll go, oh, wow, I didn't know he believed this. And they'll only find out if Google stores it somewhere. Or maybe my grandkids will find my phone, but on a computer they might find the file and say, yep, that was Grandpa. That was Grandpa. Or great-grandkids, that was your Grandpa. Yeah, we didn't know he dealt drugs. But he did.
Yeah.
But he did.
Took a few too.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well,
Did you buy Dill Pickle fuckers?
What?
Did you buy the Dill Pickle sunflower seeds?
No.
Who did?
I didn't buy anything. You did. That seems to take a break. Now these truckers, okay? If, for instance, let's say these truckers are driving down the road. Well,
Bobtail boys.
Bobtail boys?
That's a bobtail.
Oh, because he didn't have nothing on it? Anything? Okay, well.
Oh, bobtail.
Well, it's mighty cold out there. We're heading up towards Alaska.
So I guess there's nothing to worry about. We'll just make a little more.
Yeah, we got to get. I'm tired of worrying about everybody else. I'm tired of the people not having keystone. I'm tired. They can go and do what they need to do. They can sit there, and I feel sorry for many of them, because I'm sure if they knew what was going on, they'd go like, hold it. We need some other people in there that keep people like Alaska from developing their resources or whatever. For all I know, here's what could happen.
We need to value add it. It's not just a matter of extracting our resources in Alaska. We need to get in the manufacturing business and then do something with the natural resources. Like let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking these Dutchmen on a tour from the Netherlands. I told you about the guy that elevated himself to CEO of the largest propeller propeller manufacturer in the world, right?
Yep.
Well, the guy that was his buddy, that was with me on the tour, he's a global consultant.
Yep.
There's no way you could know what he does. But I know what he does. He goes around the world to countries that are involved in value adding their natural gas that comes out of the ground. And his specialty,
like urea.
He's a chemist. And his specialty, this guy's he's like an authority. You understand?
Yeah.
He's an authority globally on how to make biodegradable plastics out of the byproducts of natural gas.
Yeah.
And he told me that when the state of Alaska gets off their ass and decides they want to do something with their natural gas, to give him a call, and he'll to give him a call and get an audience with the governor and whoever else, that might want to see to it that Alaska just doesn't wholesale the shit and get it out of their state. And actually do something with it that creates jobs.
You can make the gas plastics out of natural gas,
or out of biodegradable plastic.
Out of natural gas.
Out of a byproduct of natural gas. That's right.
Yeah.
And he goes around the world teaching every fucking buddy how to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And he says something like, I understand that the state of Alaska is interested in maybe sending their gas wholesaling, just getting rid of their gas through Canada.
Yeah.
Just dumping their gas through Canada. You know what he says?
What? Crazy.
Are you aware that once the gas leaves the border of your state, that you got no more say? You got no more say in what it does.
Yeah.
What's done with it.
Yeah.
Who charges what for it, or what it costs to transport it, or whether they want to siphon some off and make something out of it in Canada. Aren't you guys aware of that? That is the dumbest thing I ever heard. That you guys want to take all that natural gas from the slope and get rid of it wholesale through Canada.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The least you can do is go to Tidewater and squeeze it into a liquid.
Yeah.
And put it on tankers and peddle it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's the least you can do.
Yeah.
Australia just spent $100 billion on that very thing.
Yeah.
You know? They just on their infrastructure. Now it's true they don't have near the cost to get their gas to Tidewater as we do.
Yeah.
But they're selling it. They're selling liquefied natural gas all over the Pacific Rim. Something that we should have been doing 20, 25 years ago. But we need it to make sure we have
they're using
the artesian effect up on the slope.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need all of it.
There's more out of oil than natural gas, so you know. Anyhow, these hills are going to be like this all the way. I'm going to cut this little tape off, but then start paying attention. But yeah, that's the problem. There's a lot of problems, but we're fine. You know, we just get into our little neck of the woods. We do the rule 3. We need 3 minutes of oxygen, 3 days of water, and 3 weeks of food. And then we could have a shelter. That's all. We get by with that. On Facebook and Facebook.
The FERC guy that rented a car from Randy Hahn from Washington, D.C. He said the same thing.
What?
He said, what are you people thinking? This guy's a federal regulator for gas.
Yeah.
FERC, he goes on his way out of town. He was up here for a month.
Yeah.
Back when somebody was pushing that AGEA or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes, what are you guys crazy? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Dumping that raw product in a pipeline and shipping it through Canada. Can't you understand how valuable that is?
Yeah, but still, here's the fisheries deal. You know that big place over by that fisheries plant?
No. Oh, you mean that Taj Mahal?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
That was supposed to be.
My buddy Alan Murphy did all the engineering for the freezer space.
Exactly. It was supposed to be an add-on thing. Well, guess what? Its labor's cheaper other places, so
they built the Taj Mahal, Greg.
I know.
You never seen a processing plant like that. That's like that lab we built.
Oh, the crime lab. Are you kidding? What do we do? Yeah.
1/5. They built a brand new one in Montana for like 1/3 the price.
I know it. It was crazy. The only more expensive is the FBY
the whole thing
in Guatemala.
The construction industry in Alaska is a corrupt scam.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'm cutting this, baby.